So I'm getting ready to make brackets to mount the radiator. It's gonna be a little complicated because this car actually comes with a full size, takes up the whole thing, and the OEM mounting tabs are these right here. And that's off of that's meant for a 92 Civic. So I don't know how I'm gonna mock that up. I also have the innovative traction bar, just the cross brace part of it, to see if it's gonna interfere with that, because it's a 3-row, so it's actually pretty thick. And so no matter if I put it right here, it's gonna stick out and probably hit either the traction bar or the mount that goes attached to it around here. So I have to look out for that. Also, if I put it too close or too far forward, it's gonna hit the intercooler, because the intercooler sits right here. The radiator can't be right behind that because there has to be a fan in between, because I'm gonna use a pusher style to push the air through. Okay, also really quick, I just noticed that the gap under this tab right here is pretty big, and but actually the intercooler is not going to sit lifted on this side or anything, because what happened is that when I was cutting these out, I cut too much off the bottom of this one, and as you can see, this one has a little bit more material on the bottom. So these two holes are actually level, so the intercooler is going to be straight. I just brought out the spout fan that I had on my old Accord. The hopes were to place it on there just to be able to mock it on the car and make sure the motor doesn't hit the intercooler, but it's way too big. Even on the flat part, if I stick it up there, it still sticks out past the bottom and on the sides. So I'm gonna have to just mock up a gap and pray and guesstimate that it's not gonna hit the intercooler. Okay, so I just started mounting the innovative traction bar, and for starters, you can't use your OEM tow hook because that's supposed to go right there, and as you can see, it's already hitting and it's not even fully bolted. Luckily, it comes with aftermarket tow hooks that you can bolt to the underside right here. You bolt them under those and it sticks out. Also, you're gonna have to cut, or I'm gonna have to cut these the radiator mounts, because if I try to bring it up, boom, they hit that. They hit even before they're flush with the chassis. So yeah, let's get that done. And they're off. Alright, so I was bolting it on after I cut the radiator tabs down here off, and this keeps hitting, this keeps hitting this right here. As you can see, it rubs and it doesn't want to bolt in, so what I'm just gonna do is pry it back a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna just let this sag down. Grab the pliers. Grip it and pull. There you go. I bent it just a little bit, and that should be enough to make it fit. Alright, here we go, moment of truth. And there she is. Flush. Nice and flush. It's fully bolted in on both sides. There we go. Okay, well, I'm trying to mount the radiator. I'm noticing it's getting way too close to the mounting bracket down there, so I actually pulled out the front motor mount, and it should sit something like that. I'm not gonna bolt it in. I just gotta note to stay away from. I just gotta keep the radiator away from this square right here, and I should be good. I'm not gonna waste my time bolting it on. So this is gonna end up sitting in there. Just gotta make a bracket down there, but yep, at that angle right there. It's gonna be a little sideways. It's all good. Okay, so I was just brainstorming on how to make the bracket the easiest way. So I was thinking of getting some cardboard off of that diaper box and making a mock bracket and transferring it to this piece of metal. But I found the original bracket for the top part that went right there, and it fits perfectly because this is gonna go on that nipple right there, and I'm gonna just weld it right there, and maybe I'm gonna make another one down here. It's gonna need to be trimmed a little bit, so that's what I'm about to do. Just right a line and cut it up. So it's all cut up, but as you can see right here, this is protruding right here. So, and that's where it needs to be welded. So in order to make clean contact, so it could weld up nice, so I'm gonna just trim off right here, right there, and right there, to make up for this bump. Alright, let's see if it fits. Well, yeah, it makes contact at the beginning, the center, and at the end. There's nothing I can do about the hole. Alright, just finished up tacking it in, and that's what it looks like right now. So I'm gonna test fit it, and if it actually fits, I'm just gonna leave that there, and then like I said, put the other one somewhere around here or here. But yeah, it looks pretty good. To make this side nice and level with this one, I'm gonna have to somehow have it a little bit lower than the actual frame itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld this there and then bend this over. So I'm gonna try to bend it right there in the middle so it's 90 degrees just sticking out. Okay, so from my estimates, I'm gonna have to bend it right here. So to make that easier on me, since it's contoured, it's never gonna bend in a straight line just from hitting it in the vise. So I'm gonna cut there, and then I'm only gonna score it here, just hit it with the grind a little bit, but not cut all the way through. And then hopefully from there I can just hammer it over and then maybe put some reinforcement welds right in the center. This is what I ended up with right here. So now this is I'm gonna weld it right there. Maybe bend these tabs a little bit back so they can actually touch. And then there you go. Should be even with this one. So here it is, the second one. Nice and tacked in right there. Like I said, I would cut it and bend it. And then here's the first one. So it actually fits perfect. Look at that. Boom. Solid. Got the mount down there. You can't even see them from this side, but that's what she looks like right there. I just need the top one, but for that one I'm gonna make a fancy aluminum polished one later on. But for right now, mounted right there and mounted right there, and that's how they look. So I was just about to send off this valve cover for powder coating, and it turns out that I have to take off the baffles, which are these right here, because apparently when they sandblast it, some sand stays in there, and there's been instances where an engine build comes together, and after it's been powder coated, the engine just blows. So, and I see what they're saying, because if you reach under here, even if I cleaned it really good, you still get some from the drilling for the vents. So I can just imagine how the sand is going to stay in there. So I'm just going to drill those out and then take it off and send it off for good. I just drilled out the spot welds with a small drill bit just to hit the center of each, just like that. And then I'm going to go back over it with this bigger one. Okay, I just drilled out all the spot welds with the bigger drill bit, and it's loose. It has movement, as you can see, but I'm gonna have to pry it off a little bit harder. Okay, so I got it off, and now I see why you need to take these off, because it has all these little chambers that there's no way that you're gonna be able to clean out when this is still on there. So pretty smart. Alright, really quick before I sent the valve cover to get powder coated, I'm test fitting them, see how they look like. And this is pretty much how it's going to look right there. It's pretty crazy. And I got the catch can out as well. I'm going to start mocking it up. I don't know I'm going to put it yet. And all these fittings here. And yeah, ready to go. Alright, so before I put everything away, I'm just going to test fit it really quick. I just want to make sure everything's nice and squared away before I start painting it. And like I said, I'm just gonna touch up paint like around that whole gray area where the brake fluid ate away at it and oil ate at some other spots. I'm just gonna touch it up, make it nice and pretty. But yeah, everything fits good. There's no interference anywhere. And the main reason I'm checking out the headlight is because a good buddy of mine, which I get a lot of advice over at Cords, is Chris. I'll put the link somewhere on this video, but yeah, he helps me out a lot. And it's funny because he's like, is the headlight even gonna fit? And I panicked. I was like, what the so I came right back and I'm trying the headlight on, and yeah, there's no interference in there anywhere. It doesn't interfere there. It's kind of tight with the catch can, but it looks like the catch can is gonna clear everything as well. I might have to trim a little bit off the motor mount right there, but besides that, this line here is gonna come out through over here, and this is just the piping off my old Accord, just to test fit it roughly. And it's coming through. The jack is holding it. It comes through here, and it's just gonna have to do a 90. I want a very tight 90 because I've seen how people they get the 90 degree without cutting or welding anything, and it just comes way out here and then goes back in, and they have to cut the bumper and all that. But I want it nice and tight. So it looks like I'm gonna have to trim the bumper support a little bit, on the bumper support mount actually. Trim it a little bit, but it's gonna be nice and tight and hidden right there. And yeah, this is how it's gonna look. Right there, at least this corner is gonna look. Looks good, I'm happy.